Hey traders, Jason here from Love Brothers. So I titled this video, Has Software Bottomed? Because it's something I'm starting to ask myself. Software has been really weak. It's been, along with crypto, it's been one of the weakest groups, maybe even the weakest group, especially considering the size, number of components, market cap. Probably more market cap's been lost in software the last couple months than any other sector of the economy. But I'm starting to see them form bottoms. Okay, some of them are moving up off bottom, some of them are basing and resisting some downward pull. It's a little bit of a hope for the bulls, because one of the points I've made in previous videos is that the S&P, the other indexes, have mostly moved sideways while software has taken a big hit. What if software starts to bounce? Like, if everything else stays the same and software bounces, then that could break the market out, or there could just be rotation out of stuff and into software. We don't really know, but in any case, software is a big group. There are a lot of components, a lot of liquidity, a lot of trading opportunities. So if they've bottomed, and it's possible they have, or at least in the bottoming process, then there's going to be a lot of opportunities going forward, because there's so many groups. Not so many groups, so many stocks, and so much volume in the group. All right, so I'm going to whip through a handful of stocks just to kind of show you what I'm seeing. All right, let's get to it. All right, so here is Adobe. Okay, obviously weak stock, moved down, 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 but it has been up six of 7 days here, kind of broke out. You can see the 8 and the 21 starting to come together. Ideally, we get a, maybe a big enough move up. Maybe it tests this gap area. The 8 and the 21, 8 crosses the 21. The light blue line is the 8. The orange line is the 21. If this thing can move up, maybe the 8 and 21 can move up, and the 8 can cross the 21. Then we can get some sort of back kiss and then go. Okay, it's kind of similar to what we see up here, where we get this rounded top. Oops, let me delete that. So we get this rounded top. It drops. The 8 crosses below the 21 over here. Then you get this throwback, which gets rejected, and then going down. We're looking for the opposite right now. We're looking for a big enough move up that crosses the 8 and the 21, then a throwback, and then a resumption of the short-term uptrend. Okay, so the seeds are there. Like, we're starting to see a bottoming process. I'm not going to call a bottom yet. I'm just saying, like, we seem to be in that mode here. All right, here's Autodesk, down, 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 getting rejected constantly by the 8. Now we're up, what is that, 7 days in a row. Got some big volume here. Looks great. 8 crossing the 21. Obviously not going to chase it here, but if we get like a pullback here, that'd be nice, because this stock obviously, double bottom, and then it bottomed before before a lot of other software stocks. So it's one of the stronger ones in the last 2 weeks. AppLovin, chaotic stock, sometimes random moves, a lot of overlapping candles, gaps. Okay, but we got 1, 2, little mini triple bottom here. Then it moved up, volume average, resistance line here, and today breaking out. So maybe we're in the bottoming process. I mean, we could certainly pull back here and do something like this. It's fine, but at least the beginning stages of a bottoming process are starting to form. And if that's the case, then who knows? Maybe we don't get a trade now, but maybe we get a trade in a month. We don't know. But if this is bottom, other stocks probably bottom too. All right, Asana, less along. Okay, we got resistance here at 8, just kind of forming a bottoming pattern here. You can see that it's up, 6 of 7 days, some big volume days here. Hey, if this thing moves sideways here, that'd be fine. Let it move sideways. Let it maybe do it like a double touch, touch down near 7 again and then come up. It's all on the table. Just the beginning signs of a bottom are starting to form. Here's Bentley Systems. Weak stock trending down, resistance line here at 35. You can see like mini double bottom, higher low there. Gaps up, runs up, doing really well. Lots of positive volume here. Can't chase it here. 8 cross the 21. Looks good. If we get some sort of minor throwback here on lighter volume, that could be a buying opportunity for a move up into the 40s. Salesforce, kind of a chaotic stock, a Dow stock. Okay, maybe there's a resistance level here over at 200. I wouldn't mind a drop back to 185, even into the lower 180s. Let the 8 and 21 come together, and then when it tries again, the 8 can cross the 21. There could be a little bit of momentum going there, but looks good. It was a really weak stock. It's a great company, but weak stock, lost a lot of value. But huge volume over here tells me a bottom is, probably in. It's a question of getting a good entry. Double verify. Okay, broke out. Strong volume over here. Now it's flagging. Looks great. Figma. I mean, this is the bottom here is 20. This is 30. That's just a 50% move. Pretty innocent 50% move here. Okay, breaks out. Tons and tons of volume here. Now it's flagging between the high 20s and low 30s. This one looks good for probably a trade out. Okay. Based on market conditions, I'm not really interested in playing breakouts. I'd much rather zoom in on the hourly chart, 2-hour chart, and buy a dip within a range with a tight stop rather than chase a breakout. That's just like the market conditions. Last year, you can chase a breakout. Market was very forgiving. This year, market is not forgiving at all. But this one should be on our radar because it's acting much better than it was. Guidewire came out of a base here, as you can see. Huge, just gigantic volume here. Steady, steady, steady. Up 7 days in a row. Can't chase, but 8's crossed the 21. Throwback here might be buyable. It's exactly what you want. Okay. Let it run up. Let it cross a lot of indicators up. Let it have an innocent, low volume, low volatility pullback into a key moving average, into a key level, and then that's your buying opportunity with a tight stop. HubSpot. Nothing special here, just double bottom here, maybe a resistance level somewhere in the high 250s, 260. Pretty good volume on the breakout there. Flagged, now moving up again. 8 and the 21 are pretty much together here. Okay, so even a bottom seems to be forming. Okay, I'm not going to chase here. We can certainly push higher. We can pull back here. We can flag a little bit and then go. And 2 months later, we could be looking at the stock at 400, and you could be wondering why didn't I get in? I stopped paying attention to it. Put it on your radar. It's looking much better than it was. INTA, lower low then straight up. Up six of 7 days. Lots of volume. Looking good. Not going to chase it here. But it's one to keep on your radar. Over here we got a big enough move down that the 8 crossed the 21. Then you get a throwback to the 21, and then it falls apart. Just looking for something similar here. 8 and the 21 are really wide apart here. It's really hard for a stock to just slice through all that. Okay, when it does, it tends to have to come back and retest because you need the 8 and the 21 to get together, and eventually the 8's going to have to cross the 21. So one to put on your watch list. Microsoft, it's not acting as good as many of the others, but because it's the elephant in the room, I'm going to include it here. A little bit of a rounded bottom here, no real resistance level, but starting to form a bottom. It would benefit from another pullback here and some sideways movement, maybe a more obvious resistance line. Not really necessary, but if it can move down and sideways, let the 8 and 21 come together, then on the next move up, maybe it breaks out over here and runs, and the 8 cross the 21, then we can get a throwback and then go from there. But it doesn't seem ready yet, but it's in the process of forming a bottom. ServiceNow, lots of press on this one because I got smoked after earnings. But a month-long base resolving up. The stock's been up 6, despite all this, war breaking out in the Middle East, and the stock's up 6 of 7 days and currently trading at a 1-month high. So that's not bad. Okay, the 8's in the process of crossing the 21. It's getting pretty close. So like a lot of the others, hey, if we get a move up here into the gap, get rejected by the 50-day moving average, come back and test the 21 and then go, be a great trade. Okay, be a great trade. Buy 115, sell 130, something like that. I'm not predicting that, but when you have such a drop, even if this thing, if the high over here is 195 and the high over here is 100, if to get back half of that is going to be somewhere over here. So if it just bounces half, that's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a new high anytime soon. Just, hey, push a little bit higher, pull back, lower volume, lower volatility on the pullback, and run just a move to get to the midpoint of the range would be a solid trade. Paycom Software just forming a bottoming here. Boom. Kind of broke out, was getting knocked back by the 8. Then it broke out. Lots of volume here, up 6 to 7 days. A lot of these stocks, war in the Middle East and up 6 to 7 days. The market doesn't, some of these software stocks don't really seem to care what's going on over there. They're so beaten down that like the selling has just gotten so exhausted that there's just no sellers left. And so the stock seems to be turning the corner. Pegasystems bottomed before the rest of the group, moved up, huge volume over here. Resistance line 46 breaking out today. Volume lately has been a little bit on the lighter side, but seems to be turning the corner. Palantir, another big one, another like so-called elephant in the room. Kind of a triple bottom here, if you want to call it that. Up 6 days in a row. Volume really good. Price movement really good. 8 now crossing the 21. Volatile stock. I mean, look at this. Know what you're getting yourself into. It's not a smooth mover. Lots of random moves here. Lots of long tails. Lots of intraday movement. Lots of overlapping candles. Like, it's not a smooth moving stock. So I'm not going to chase here, but if you get a quiet move down, maybe it gets supported by 145, which was a level here and a level here. That might be a good buy for a move up, up into this range. Not looking for miracles, just bounces. Rubric, nothing special here, just basing. Okay, probably has some potential. It could pull back here, and then we'd have like a low, something like that. But again, seems to be forming a bottom. Okay, one more toast. Broke out here, huge volume. It's up 6 to 7 days. Now trading at like a 3-week high. Okay, so software's gotten killed. The stocks have beaten down. Some of these stocks are in trouble. Some of them actually are in trouble. Some of them are going to bounce back. Trust the charts, okay? I'm not smart enough to know which companies are going to bounce back or which companies are doomed because of AI. But when the really smart people on Wall Street are buying and selling, they leave footprints in the charts, and our job is to find those footprints. So when you get a stock that's been beaten down, that rallies a lot on big volume, that's worth paying attention to. If that stock could pull back and there's minimal selling pressure, that's a stock you can buy. And even if you don't even need a move back to the high, you just need a move back to the middle of the range, and that could be a solid trade for 20-30 points for $100 stock. I hope you got something out of this. We'll see you next time.